All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar this morning. We are joined today by Nancy Dennis, the Director of Public Relations for the Alabama Retail Association. And she's just going to be talking to us a little bit today about supporting your small and local businesses as well as kind of state of retail for Alabama. So Nancy, take it away.
Okay, great. Good to be here. Thank y'all for inviting me. Glad to be in Calhoun County, even virtually. First off, I want to start off explaining a little bit about who the Alabama Retail Association is. These photos represent retail and they represent our membership. The members of the Alabama Retail Association sell food, clothes, furniture, medicine, hardware, jewelry, gifts, books, and more. Please visit the Alabama Retail Association website, alabamaretail.org, to learn about retail, our members, and our mission. The largest segment of businesses among Alabama Retail's membership sell food in one form or another. They're grocery stores, they're restaurants, they produce and meat markets, caterers, specialty businesses such as bakeries and ice cream parlors. Having food-based businesses operating, even in a limited way, helps everyone in the retail industry. As we progress through this presentation, you may recognize some Calhoun County businesses. Wave your hands if you spot one. Well, there you go. All right. So retail touches every aspect of daily living. Retail is the largest private employer in the state of Alabama. Our 77-year-old association represents retailers. We have 4,300 member businesses with some 6,000 locations throughout the state of Alabama. During the pandemic, we both lost and gained members. Currently, we have about the same number of members we had a year ago. Whether big or small, retailers are people who have invested in Alabama. In this montage is our chairman, Todd Noden. He's president of Books A Million, the nation's second largest bookseller. BAM started 103 years ago as a newsstand in Florence. Its 260 stores in 31 states employ more than 5,000 people. 1,000 of those people work in the state of Alabama alone. Also, here is Mike Vinson, whose dad founded a pharmacy in downtown Montgomery that he and his brother expanded to 12 stores in 3 counties that employ more than 150. Together, those 12 pharmacies serve 60,000 patients in the river region. The pictured husband and wife team here created 2 restaurant concepts that employ 225 people. There are big numbers in retail employment. The small businesses on this slide include a 4-store family-run Birmingham area garden center that employs 52. The rest are all women-owned companies, including a bakery and a well-appointed kitchen shop that each employ 10. Courtney and Megan, in the top left corner, are first cousins. They run the flagship store in downtown Tuscumbia that employs 27. They went from operating a pretend store out of their grandmother's house to selling women's clothing, accessories, and shoes nationwide through their online presence. The mayor calls them creative people who adapt easily to change. That is true of all of the people pictured here and the retailers represented by the numbers we'll talk about later. Each retail business in Alabama runs on the hopes and dreams of an individual, a family, or even a community. Safe shopping now means that hope and those dreams can live on for years to come. Since 2016, the Alabama Retail Association has conducted a Shop Alabama for the Holidays campaign to promote shopping locally during the traditional holiday shopping months of November and December. We launched that campaign this year on October 13th, which not so coincidentally also happened to be Amazon Prime Day. While we did not have a luncheon with 200 to 300 of the state's top retailers in one room, as we have since 1999, The governor did declare October 13 as Alabama Retail Day to recognize the contribution retailers make to our state's economy and encourage Alabamians to continue to shop safely with retailers based or operating in Alabama. Every year, we have a theme for the Shop Alabama for the Holidays campaign. This year, that theme is Keep Alabama Open. Alabamians, like the rest of the nation, began their holiday shopping early to ensure that they can get the gifts they want and that those gifts arrive on time. This International Council of Shopping Centers graphic is based on an October 16th to 18th survey, and it shows that 12% started their holiday shopping in August or earlier. About a quarter started in October, and another quarter planned to shop in November, and another quarter over the long Thanksgiving holiday, which includes Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, and Cyber Monday. Of the almost 9,000 consumers the National Retail Federation talked with between November 2nd through November 9th, 42% said they started their shopping earlier than they typically do. Only 26% said they had completed their holiday shopping by early November. That indicates that 74% of people out there still have shopping left to do. The International Council of Shopping Centers survey delved into some of the reasons for that early shopping. The majority of consumers are looking to avoid crowds. They want to make sure they can get what they want. As always, they're looking for a good deal. They want to make sure that they get their gifts on time. And about a third plan to shop early because of the health and safety concerns related to the pandemic. So through September of this year, Alabama's consumers had than they did in 2019. That is based on Alabama Revenue Department reports for all state tax sales. That growth came despite the business disruptions caused by the global pandemic and many businesses being closed in March and April. Nationally, retail sales have grown for 6 straight months. And when October tax numbers are out for Alabama in early December, that will be true for Alabama as well. Retail is leading our state's economic recovery. Faced with financial peril and scared, many retailers made changes that they had put off for years. They've gotten their online sales going, they've created apps, and they've reworked their business plans. Retail at its best is resilient. Each year, the Alabama Retail Association predicts what we expect retail sales to be in November and December, based on the past year's performance and average spending patterns for the holiday shopping months. The International Council of Shopping Centers forecast a 1.9% growth in holiday spending. The National Retail Federation won't make its forecast until Monday. Alabama consumers should at least meet or slightly exceed what they spent last year in November and December. Even unchanged would be good, because spending in Alabama during the holiday months of November and December reached an all-time high in 2019. Holiday sales were up 9.79% from the same 2 months in 2018. It was the greatest growth in spending during the holiday shopping months since 2005. Tax sales in our state totaled $13.25 billion in those 2 months alone. consumers want to shop. Even back in May, which this slide reflects the sentiment in May. Even back in May, almost 70% of consumers said they depend on in-store shopping. Consumers are looking for joy. You know your customers, concentrate on them, and what you can do to bring joy to their lives. They must feel safe coming into your store, and you must feel safe with them inside. The International Council of Shopping Centers survey showed 81% plan to shop in stores, while NRF data shows that 70% feel safe shopping in stores. Safe in-store shopping is necessary. The only current occupancy standards for retailers and restaurants are the 6-foot separation between customers or tables. Those standards can keep customers and employees safe if everyone does their part. Avoiding the spread of the coronavirus is until a vaccine is widely available, does depend on personal responsibility. If you believe headlines, retail was dead 2 years ago. It wasn't true then, and it isn't true now. There you go. And it isn't true now. Retail is not dead, and it will not die as long as retailers continue to sell shoppers the merchandise they want in the manner they want to buy it. Customers want to buy in all possible ways. That was true before the pandemic, and it is true now. They want to be able to call you, text you, email you, FaceTime with you, browse on your website, browse on your social media channels, and browse in your store. And they want to be able to pick it up or have it delivered. The pandemic has increased the popularity of the option to buy online and pick up in store. This year, more than half of the shoppers will do just that. Retailers are ready to safely fulfill holiday shopping lists. Wakefield's has the clothes. Lucy's Toys has stuffed animals and puppets. Local bookstores like Jacksonville Bookstore have books and more. And while they didn't make the top 5 most popular gifts in this National Retail Federation survey, flowers are big this year because they can be delivered. The roses here come from Michael Pinson Flowers. And jewelry has always been a go-to gift at the holidays. I snagged this photo from Couch's Jewelers. Small businesses like the ones on the last slide have the gifts consumers want, and most consumers say they will spend more this year with small retailers. 90% plus of Alabama Retail's members employ 60 or fewer people, and I'm sure that's true in Calhoun County as well. Retail is a big industry made up primarily of small businesses. This is a Facebook post from one of our members. They made it right after small retail stores could reopen their doors to customers in May. You can feel the tension in her as she starts off. She says she's aged. I don't know about y'all, but a lot of us have aged very quickly over this since March. So this is Katie Smith, and she's on the right, and she owns a stationery shop that her mother Betty founded. The flagship store is in Mountain Brook, and she recently opened a second location in Huntsville. She expressed the gratitude that many local retailers have for the support their employees and communities have shown for small businesses throughout the pandemic. I am forever changed by the word local, she says. Shop local, eat local, be local. The word community means more than before. Retail creates a sense of place. It is the fabric of our communities. As Alabama Retail's president says, loyal local retailers and restaurants are what differentiates one community from another. Those local retailers and restaurants make Anniston, Anniston, Oxford, Oxford, and Jacksonville, Jacksonville. It is important that we rally behind them, around them. So local business has the same power it's always had. Local businesses can best connect with customers and give them personal service. The people, the special products or dishes no one else provides or does as well, and the atmosphere local businesses create draw customers to a local business. This is Southern Accents in Coleman, and they've been able to stay open the whole time throughout the pandemic. But even so, they recognize that many of their customers did not feel safe coming in the store. So it offers personal shopping via FaceTime. Use every tool in your toolbox to allow your customers to shop safely, because again, they want to shop and most want to shop locally. Communities have rallied around their favorite stores and restaurants. And for that, the Alabama's retailers and restaurants are grateful. I love the sentiment on the shirt that at one time in recent months was for sale at Pickett's Feed and Pet Supply in Anniston and Oxford. Again, your customers aren't just shopping for merchandise. They're looking for hope and joy in their day. Whenever they come into their store, that's what they're looking for, is hope and joy in their day. And building trust isn't all about business. This is Jacob Shevin. He owns 13 furniture stores in Alabama, mostly in small towns from Pelham all the way north to Moulton. He knows the value of a retailer to a small community. In a small town, a retailer often is the largest employer. The loss of just one retailer can have a devastating effect on a small community. The connection between small businesses and the communities they serve is even stronger and more important now. Retail is a catalyst for vibrant communities. It provides jobs. It supports the tax base. It creates a sense of place. I'm going to wrap up by talking about retail as an economic driver. Consumer spending accounts for 70% of the US economy. A third of that 70% is spent on goods. In the pandemic, more is being spent on goods than services. You buy goods in or from a store. Where consumers choose to spend their money impacts our economy. That spending employs people, it builds our business districts, it paves roads, it builds schools, and it funds services. National retail groups, as well as the Alabama Retail Association, include restaurants and bars in any retail statistic. Traditional retail stores and the restaurants nearby make up our country's and our state's shopping areas and our memberships. So we combine those numbers together. Retail and restaurants coexist in the same neighborhood and they share the same customers. Retail trade plus food and drinking places employ more than any other private employer in the state of Alabama. I'm going to say that again. Retail trade plus food and drinking places employed more than any other private employer in the state of Alabama. 1 in 4 of all employees in the private sector. Only the government employs more people in our state than retail. Retail employs more than manufacturing, more than professional services, more than the health industry. Retail employment has hovered around 400,000 people in Alabama, either slightly more or slightly fewer for years. The latest labor numbers should be out today and should show that even more than the 384,800 employed in October are retail. Retail trade alone has gained employees in recent months, while restaurant employment has continued to decline. Retail is a revenue generator. Last year, almost $2.8 billion in state sales taxes were collected by retailers and other businesses. That number doesn't count what they collected and remitted on behalf of city and county governments. The retail industry, in terms of revenue, was the strongest it has ever been going into this year. If retail sales continue for the last quarter at the rate that they've averaged this year, we will end 2020 stronger than 2019 in terms of revenue generated for the state. Collections from the simplified seller's use tax, which are remissions made by remote retailers without a physical presence in Alabama, have already exceeded last year's totals. Reminding consumers that you can buy online and still buy local is key to keeping local retailers viable. Just a few more numbers to relate to you about the overall impact of retail to the Alabama economy. Our annual payroll is almost $9.2 billion. Retail trade, restaurants, and bars account for almost 9% of the state's gross domestic product. It is the 5th highest producing industry in the state, behind manufacturing, government, finance, and professional services. There is one retail business for every square mile in the state. We got some encouraging words yesterday from the governor, who said, "I will not shut down businesses." But the decision about whether or not to close businesses again may not be hers. National health officials are talking about one set of COVID-19 guidelines for all states. Alabama's current restrictions are down to basic health protocols and guidelines. Stay 6 feet apart, wear a mask, wash your hands regularly, clean surfaces regularly, avoid crowds, and stay home when you're sick. Keeping our state open for business and keeping our people healthy are not mutually exclusive. We must work together, look out for each other, be kind to each other to keep both our bodies and our economy healthy. Loss of sales tax revenue was massive in March and April. Each day closed cost small businesses millions. We can't afford to close the doors of Alabama businesses again. Together we can and will get through this. If you want to learn more about our association, please visit alabamaretail.org. We are Alabama Retail on Facebook and Twitter, Shop Alabama on Instagram, and Alabama Retail Association on LinkedIn. Please follow us. If you'll use the hashtag shown here on your holiday post, we'll show you some love. Shop Alabama for the holidays, keep Alabama open, and keep the cheer here. Thank you, Linda, Ashley, and everyone at the Calhoun County Area Chamber and Visitor Center for giving Alabama Retail the opportunity to make this presentation. And now I'll be happy to answer any questions that anyone has.
Perfect. That was wonderful. We've got a couple questions. Ken Grissom with the Small Business Development Center at Jacksonville State University just wanted to notify everybody that they are available to help Calhoun County businesses at no cost to the business with the Governor's Revive Plus applications and also the Community Foundation of Northeast Alabama's Small Business Relief Fund. That's actually the Chambers put that on. That's our round 3 is open. If you have any questions or need their assistance, you can email him at kgrissom, GRISSOM, at jsu.edu.
Hello, Ken. So the governor announced the newest round of the Revive Alabama Plus grant today. Eligible businesses could get up to additional $20,000 each. So and it's those applications open up. The application portal opens up on Monday, so it's time to get prepared to do that if you're going to.
And then Tim Lockett has also said, Calhoun County is now seeing new cases of COVID emerging at the same rate they did during the midsummer surge. Is the possibility of a surge or a second shutdown factored into your projections on retail sales?
Yeah, so we, there are so many things. We did not purposely make a prediction that would be anything more than the status quo or a little bit above that, because of all those factors out there that could impact sales over the next 2 months. And certainly rising cases in COVID is one of those factors. And so it's just very, very hard to predict what that will be. But we here in Alabama, we have really done a good job of reacting, and when the numbers surged, I truly believe that if we keep doing what we're doing, that we can keep things under control as long as everybody takes care of personal responsibility and follows the guidelines that are in place at this time.
Ken Grissom says hello and thank you for your support of small businesses.
Yes, we love our small business centers.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Feel free to put that in the Q&A window or the chat box. I know some of them can be a little lengthy, so it might take a minute.
Okay, that's all right. That's fine. I know that, so that, that it is going to be as again, people have got to feel safe shopping, and and then retailers have got to be able to provide, if they don't feel comfortable coming into stores for one reason or another, then the retailers have got to be able to provide their services to them in the ways that customers can get them. They still are going to need they're still going to need food. They still need their clothing, and they still are going to want to buy those gifts. And so they're going to want to be able to do it in ways like ordering online, or doing curbside, or doing pickup, or having it shipped. All of those options are still on the table, and we will still be doing that for quite some time.
Tim Lockett asked, is Black Friday still Black Friday? Should business?
So actually, yes, that's a great question, Tim. And hello, Tim. Tell Buffy I said hello. So yes. So actually, what's happened this year because of the pandemic, shopping early, is just outgrowth of how things have already been. It used to be that Black Friday was the end all be all, everybody shop Friday. And that's when they started their shopping. Well, for several years, it's really been Black November. They've been shopping throughout the month of November. So the pandemic just moved that to October. So like we saw in some of the slides earlier, about 25% of the people at least in October this year. And that is, the retailers have been running deals really since October as well, and that draws on Friday, and so we're trying to spread the shopping throughout the season and not concentrate on that day. That doesn't mean that you can't shop, but on Black Friday, you should be able to do that. And so, hopefully that people will actually there'll be people out shopping, but it will not be as crowded as perhaps in years past.
He says, hi, should businesses expect to break even earlier than usual or later based on the changes this year?
Well, so a lot of the businesses in a normal year make their businesses really made in the last 2 months of the year. And so they've been working very hard to get as many customers to shop early and to get that going. But they still dependent. Some businesses are still dependent on those holiday shopping business to make their year. So this time is critical, and so that's why it's just so critical that we do all we can to shop safely, to stop the spread of the disease, and to but remain that these businesses remain open so they can continue to serve their customers.
Toby Bennington with the City of Anniston said, your numbers pump up the volume to the slogan, shop local, eat local, and be local. Thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So that's the deal. So much when you spend your money in your local community, that money comes back in many ways. You spend with a local business, then they spend their money with another local business. They hire people. The money just circulates in your community, and really just bolsters the economy in your local community. And that's why it's always been important to shop local, but it's even more so this year, because again, you want your favorite retailers, you want those things, those shops and those restaurants that make your community special. You want them to still be here in January.
Absolutely. I know that the Chamber, we've started our kind of shop small, shop local campaign, and we now have our shop small bingo. That bingo card is available in this week's email. If you didn't receive it from the newsletter, it's also on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
She's got some great suggestions for buy some jewelry, get your car washed. And we have certain rules and regulations and things, but basically we just really want to encourage you to go shop local as much as possible. We have a list of Chamber members. If you would like to patronize them, I'll have that posted here this afternoon. If you want to help them out a little bit, I know they would appreciate it. Would love to see you. But I love the idea that Coleman had as far as a personal shopper. I hadn't heard anybody doing something similar like that here locally. So maybe give some.
Yeah, so that's been going on a lot of places. There's some retailers in the state that still are offering shopping by appointment only. So if you can make an appointment and come into the store all by yourself, that's still happening, of course, when their business is not open, but that's to the rest of the public. But that is, again, retailers are bending over backwards to serve their customers however they can serve them.
Good deal. Well, all right. I assume that's all the questions that we've had. I guess if I receive anything else, I'll send those to you, Nancy. But thank you so much for doing this for us today. It was a wonderful presentation.
Okay. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Linda, again. And all my friends in Calhoun County.
Perfect. And this will be available on our YouTube channel and also as a episode of our In Tune with Calhoun podcast, hopefully by the end of this week. So be on the lookout for that. If you need links, they're on our website and will also be available on our Facebook page. So I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe, shop local, and we'll see you soon.